Today's the day, people. Today's the day. Are they going to be banning Lurrus? Are they going to go after Mishra's Bauble? The card that sees play in every single Lurrus deck. And in addition to that is anything that can fuel Dragon Rage Channeler and Murktide Regent. Are they going to axe all the companions? Are they going to go after Yorion, Kahira, and Abash as well? After all, if you just get rid of Lurrus, maybe all the other companion decks rise to prominence. It's hard to tell, you know. If there's one thing I've learned about Wizards of the Coast for the last, like, 10-ish years, is they don't give you everything that you want. Very rarely do they clean house. They did that, like, once, where they, like, nailed, like, every card that was on everybody's mind. But there's a lot of dubious cards in this lineup. I mean, it's not out of the question. I very rarely doubt that they're going to touch Ragavan in Modern. Maybe they'll touch it in Legacy. But still, I doubt it in Modern. But there's a chance. Wizards can do anything. What do I think is going to happen today? I don't know. I can't read Wizards of the Coast mind. Is there the slightest chance that they do nothing? There's a lot of people that say, hey, you know what? Modern is not that bad. It's not emergent. Like, this is like the first... I think this is the first year out of many years where Modern is not in emergency ban territory at all. Like, we can live with all this. We're not happy with it, but we can live with all this. But very likely, given the fact that they have banned something every single year, we're going to see something go. I personally would be happiest if Lurrus goes, but that is just my personal opinion, more or less, because I have no long game versus the Death Shadow deck, or basically, outside of Hammer Time, I have no long game against any Lurrus deck. It's basically impossible. It'd be very interesting. Do Legacy players know what's going to get banned? Is it going to be... I mean, Legacy has a big deal too, right? So, like, Daze was on the chopping block not too long ago. People were talking about Daze. Of course, Ragavan is really... I can just go backwards. Ragavan is like... Oh, no, this is not it. Ragavan is really close to Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is banned in Legacy. My source hasn't responded to me this one time, so I truly believe it's no bans or something big like errata. Ooh. Chief with the inside knowledge. They'll ban a bunch of BS so that they have room to print even worse cards. I don't know if they need to ban things to do that. Death to Hammer? Well, it would need to... I think Hammer is going to survive easily. You know, talking about Hammer Time, like, unless they're banning the Hammer itself, like, this deck isn't going anywhere. Did you know, maybe not everyone knows this, did you know that Hammer Time already existed as a deck when Mox Opal was around? And then when Mox Opal got banned, I mean, it looked like the deck was banned, but in fact it actually got better. It got better in two ways, because first, all the artifact decks, like, heavily fell off the map. I mean, a large chunk of them fell off because, well, you know, Mox Opal got banned, so no one's preparing for the artifact decks, and if no one has preparing for artifact decks, then, I mean, you have free reign. And also, the metagame slowed down a lot. You know, Mox Opal got banned alongside Faithless Looting. That was a degenerate metagame. That was very degenerate. So when the metagame slows down, that helped, you know, all of a sudden Hammer was like a pretty quick deck. But Hammer has been around for a while. The creator made this thing a long time ago. If you ban Lurrus and Mishra's Bauble, it's not going anywhere. I think it's still going to be one of the top decks. But basically, Hammer and a lot of other decks will lose that sort of synergy between Lurrus and Bauble. Lose that grind. The solution for a bad guy with a Daze is a good guy with a Force. Some predicting no bans. I don't think this is out of the question. I don't know what the odds are no bans. I want to say 15 to 20%. That there's a chance nothing gets banned in Modern. I don't know how many times I was expecting something to get banned and the Wizards like, nah. Nah. We can wait. Wait like a few more months, see what happens. It happens all the time. Happens all the time. Are we getting the BNR update live? Probably not. I mean, if they post it within an hour and a little bit more than an hour, then I guess we'll get it. But usually they'll post it like from 2 to 3 hours from now. Maybe I'll jump back on live when we can talk about the banning. No Urza Saga ban. It's a huge upgrade for 8-rack. I doubt, very, very, very strongly doubt that they will ban any Modern Horizons 2 cards. Anyone who's scared of their Modern Horizons 2 cards getting banned in Modern, I mean, put your fears to rest. I would sleep soundly. I would buy the dip if you need the cards and you think they're getting banned. Hey, do we know the bans yet? We do not. We're waiting. We're waiting like everyone else. Should be a very exciting day today. Deadly Feat. I don't hate Modern right now. Is it still a sustainable format, but would not mind a ban for companions? Modern is doing great. Like, all things considered, even though the meta share of these decks are just insane. But, you know, this is cooked. This is all cooked data on MTG Goldfish's part. It's still pretty balanced. You know, it's just a bunch of powerful cards versus a bunch of other powerful cards. My biggest problem is that the companions artificially push the power level of any deck that can use a companion. And then, you know, you have decks like Affinity and, you know, to some extent, Infect and like Ponza. All these decks on the bottom that can't use a companion. Sorry, we didn't print a companion for you, and they lose percentage points because they have no companion. Especially in a Thoughtseize metagame. Especially in a Thoughtseize metagame. You need those extra cards. They always help. Yeah, smash the like, you fools. You're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube. Smash that like button. And I think with that, it's a good time to segue into our sponsors. Welcome to Coffee and MTG. I'm Nikachu, host of Coffee and MTG. And our first sponsor is FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week. Save up to 20% off all Pokemon sealed product. This is only going to be available to people in Canada, but if you're a Pokemon aficionado, hey, you collect those cards, now's the time to get a deal. Up to 20% off at FusionGamingOnline.com. And you can get an additional 5% off when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Combo those those deals to save some money. Why not save more money? And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. This is why you rent cards with Mana Traders. Because when your deck potentially could get axed out of existence, and it's possible. We don't know what the bans are. Are they going to be like some soft bans, just lower the power level of the format? Or are they going to kill off some decks? You never know. And even then, they could hit some very expensive cards. They're not going to be your cards. They're going to be Mana Traders cards. So this is what helps you get ban-proof for any metagame. And you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_ZKL. Banning Bauble in Modern and Legacy would keep Dragon Rage Chandler offline a little longer. The 3/3 flying is pretty OP, but the deck manipulation along with the 3/3 flying is absurd. Absolutely. I mean, they'll probably just replace... Well, not every deck. You see, if you're playing a blue deck, you can play some cantrips to sort of replace the Bauble. But yeah, it will keep that Dragon Rage Chandler smaller, longer, give you more turns to catch up. Otherwise... that Dragon Rage Chandler is always a Delver of Secrets, basically. An upgraded Delver of Secrets. Like, it's been tested up to this point. Like, every deck that's trying to play with any deck that was trying to play with Delver of Secrets and Dragon Rage Chandler, they just scrap the Delver. It's just worse. It's strictly worse than this card. It's way worse. Now, if only it was harder to turn this thing into a 3/3. Now then it might be fair. But it's not fair. It never was. How do I feel today after the booster? I feel like garbage. Thank you for asking. My head hurts, my body aches. Everything's terrible. But I know it's all gonna go away tomorrow, so I just you gotta suck it up. Look, I didn't even wash my hair today. Didn't even care. That's what happens when I feel ill. Scruffy Nikachu today. I'm surprised I even shaved yesterday. Could have been extra scruffy. If they ban Ragavan, will you title the video "No More Monkey Business"? I'll steal it. I'll definitely do that. Oh yeah, we forgot. There could be an unbanning. Like that's some serious stuff. I'm telling you, they're unbanning Twin because nobody sees it coming. And this is the first time where people. Okay, well there's two competing opinions. First was Sam Black. Sam Black said there is no reason for Twin to be on the ban list anymore. It like doesn't make any sense. Sam is pretty confident that we can unban Twin now. There is more than enough cards in the format, you know, like Solitude alone. Solitude. Then you've got like Teferi Time Raveler, which makes it like a lot harder for you to defend your Twin. I mean, you go for the Twin, you just snipe it off, and boom. Or like you just kill it and they can't respond. You have Teferi Time Raveler. What else do we got? There's like a lot of different cards. Deathrite Shaman can come off. I don't think so, actually. Deathrite Shaman is just one of those value cards that it doesn't look big. Honestly, I don't mind it being unbanned. I mean, I really don't care. But it is like too good of a card. It doesn't look like that big of a deal, but it is a pretty big deal. Me and my friends were very tired 1 week after the third vax, so hopefully you get better soon. I think I'll be fine by tomorrow morning. My arm might be sore, but it's all good. What if Twin plays Teferi? They could. That's a possibility. That is a possibility. They can use all the tools. So there was the other opinion. So like Sam Black says, okay, we can unban Twin. Like now Twin doesn't have a chance with all this new interaction that we have. But then there was Aspiring Spike, who playtested Twin with Caleb Durward, and they're like, you know what? This could be too powerful. This is still pretty too good. I mean, it's still a Jeskai control deck. Using, like you said, like they can play Teferi if they want to. They can play all the good cards. They can play Prismatic Ending. I don't know if Twin actually wants to play Prismatic Ending sorcery cards, but it's a good card. So they get all the upgrades, essentially. And you still have to fear end of turn combo finishes. And it makes your game plan really clunky, like super, super clunky. It's difficult. I mean, there's other cards. What? Unholy Heat is good versus Twin. So there are more cards. Back in my day, we'd have so many things that could deal 4 or more damage. Because the deal is you have to defeat a Deceiver Exarch. I mean, that's the barrier. If you can't kill 4 toughness, you're screwed. And back in the day, the only thing that could kill Deceiver Exarch was Path to Exile. And not everyone had that. Sorry, I don't got the Mario music. That's true. If they play Prismatic Teferi, it becomes instant speed. Yeah, and Fatal Push didn't exist. So Fatal Push is even a card that could be played with too. So there's a lot of cards to kill a Deceiver Exarch, whereas like a long time ago, it was only Path to Exile. Like this was basically it. There was some clunky red removal spells, like I think Roast was sorcery, so it's not that one. What is? There's like some deal 4 damage to target blue or white creature, I think it was. Twin cannot come off the ban list. There are too many ways to protect it now. Sure, Answer have gotten better, but there are just better cards that Twin can run now. I'm of the opinion that if you unban Twin, you can... Yeah, it was Fry. Maybe it was... Or Rending... No, I think it was Rending Volley I was thinking of. I think you can unban Twin, and it will be like a deck in the metagame. It will be a very good deck in the metagame. Yeah, so this was a sideboard card versus Twin. And, but what was Fry? I don't remember what Fry was. Yeah, this was a card, too. Fry deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker that's blue or white or blue. But the deal is, I think you can unban Twin, and it'll be a deck, but it will be a very, very strong deck. And I do not think people will be happy about Twin in the format. People are like, oh, bring in Twin. Like, you're not going to be happy. I don't think people are going to be happy with this deck existing in Modern. This is against a very good player. People judge this deck because they play against bad players, and those bad players just get blown out all the time. They like play Deceiver Exarch, and you have a bunch of open mana, then they go for the Twin, and you get the 2-for-1. And you're like, oh, this is so easy to play around. But when you're up against a good Twin player, they're not going to go for it when you have like 4 open mana. Like, they're not stupid. So they're going to play more cautiously. They're going to be playing way more patient. They're going to be attacking you for 1 a turn with a Deceiver Exarch, and you're like, well, when are they going to go for it? And you're going to realize too late they're not going to go for it, and before you know it, bam! Bolt, Snapcaster, Bolt, and you're dead. That's how it is against Twin. Give us Red Elemental Blast. I would love those cards in Modern. I would just love it. Bam! Fork in the eye. And now we know why Furia 3/3 does 4 damage, but you can't play that at instant speed. Trickster really helped Merfolk versus Twin? I don't think so, because I don't know if Twin was legal at the time. Harbinger of the Tides helped us. I don't think Trickster was legal at the time. Harbinger is a better card though, because they'll tap, and then you can bounce the creature back to their hand, and then that's it. I don't even think Trickster would do anything to the combo, unless you, like, in response to Twin, just Trickster the creature. That would do it. Am I the only one that wants GTA unbanned? I don't think you're the only one. Some people have already told me that they bought some GTAs. Let's see how confident people are about Umezawa's GTA coming off the ban list. Nothing super crazy. I think this is just, it's getting popular just because it's getting popular. No one's making any big move for Umezawa's GTA. I still personally think this will do nothing in Modern. It'll just do absolutely nothing. Nothing. It won't matter any more than like Sword of Fire and Ice, or barely. I really don't care about this card. Is Force of Despair any good versus Splinter Twin? No, because you're never going to kill the original creature. You can kill the new creatures, but you can't kill the OG creatures, so you still have to deal with... Because I think Force of Despair just kills the new creatures. Force of Despair. I wouldn't say this is a good card. If it's not your turn, whatever. Destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn, so you just buy yourself 1 turn. I don't think that's worth it. Thanks for doing the stream, man. You're a freaking pro for doing this, even though you feel like ass. This is why we keep coming back. Your devotion to Blue and your devotion to us. I don't think in my 8 years of streaming I've ever taken a, like, mental health day off. I've always shown up no matter what. I don't give a crap. Maybe give us Hypergenesis back for a bit. I don't think it's even that good. Like, you probably can unban that card. It's just super jank. So, okay. So I'm from the philosophy that cards that are not good on the ban list should just come off. Like, if it's not that good, just take him off the ban list. I'm, like, so I have the philosophy, if the card was unbanned today, is it worth banning? That's the way I approach the ban list. Now, a lot of other people have a completely different philosophy with the ban list. They think, well, what good does it do to the format if you unban it? And, like, Hypergenesis does absolutely nothing good for the format if you unban it. I just think it's unjustly banned. Cards like Hypergenesis. I mean, maybe it's good. Maybe you can break it. But, like, I don't think so. I think it's just a bad Living End card. I think it's a very bad Living... It's like a worse version of Living End. And the less cards you have in your hand, the worse this card gets. Yeah, I think the artifact lands should come off. But I think I'm assuming Wizards is on the same page. They approach the ban list like, what good is it to take the card off? Does it improve the format? Does it help? It doesn't matter if it's unjustly banned in the first place. So they wait for the right moment to unban things like they unbanned Golgari Grave Troll because there was a moment in Modern there was no graveyard decks. Now we have all the graveyard decks. Glimpse of Tomorrow is just better hypergenesis, is it? Maybe. Maybe. This is very similar. Very, very similar in nature. Unban Simian Spirit Guide. Simian Spirit Guide, I think, you know, a lot of the free mana spells, I still don't like them. But I have to admit that because we have more free spells than we ever had before, these cards are not as dangerous as they used to be. I'm not a fan of free mana, so to hell with it. Don't unban it, but we now have more free tools to deal with free mana. For the record, I'm not pro unban Twin. Just do it. What's the streak for Coffee and MTG at the moment? What, like 1.5 years, I think? How long have I been doing this? The boomer is coming out in you. What's your best guess of what is getting banned in Modern? My best guess, nothing happens. But if they do something... So here's the deal. I think if they're going to ban something, they're going to ban Lurrus. But my question is, if they ban Lurrus, do they ban all the companions? That's my question. If they ban Lurrus, do they ban all the companions with it? That's a hard question to answer. Because they could just ban Lurrus. They might just axe Lurrus. And then let the other companions fill the void. And yeah, they will get better, but like, I think Lurrus is the largest problem. So I think that's the key question here. If they ban Lurrus, which I think is likely, do they ban all the other companions with it? Or do they just like, we banned Lurrus, we're gonna wait and see what happens? You know Wizards of the Coast, they're a wait and see type of corporation. We gotta wait and see. Do the wait and see. What do you want banned in Modern right now? Personally, I would like Lurrus and Mishra's Bauble banned, and I don't care about the other cards. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if that is those are the best bannings. That is a very skewed, biased opinion. I don't play either of these cards. DK Gaming. I'm okay with Birthing Pod getting unbanned. I think that why do people want this card unbanned? This is ridiculously stupid. Okay, I will just put it this way. If you hate Teferi Time Raveler, because, like, you can't play spells, you're gonna hate Birthing Pod even more. Because if you cannot deal with Teferi, in the same situations you can't deal with Pod, then Pod will just kill you next turn, and you'll feel completely helpless. There is a chain. You just need, like, one mana creature, you just win on the spot. And you need 4 mana. You need 4 mana and 1 mana dork. But that's my perception of Pod. If you don't think you can deal with a turn 2 or turn 3 Teferi, you're absolutely not going to be happy about dealing with Birthing Pod. There's a lot of decks out there that do not have that much removal, and they just basically lose on the spot. Rite of Flame unban? Maybe. Like, I mean, these cards used to be dangerous. But I don't... You know what? It's too close to Simian Spirit Guide, in my opinion. It's too close to Simian Spirit Guide. Because it nets you a free mana. You pay 1 red, you get 2. So it's like basically Simian Spirit Guide, but in sorcery form. You actually have to cast your Simian Spirit Guide. Can we get another video from Grandpa Nikachu regarding the ban announcement? Oh, it depends what they ban. Maybe. What time is the unban? They don't have specific times, but if you let me know in I should have Reddit open. Where's Reddit? We should periodically close this. At some point, the top thing will be like, oh, new bannings. But generally speaking, it will be within 2 to 2.5 hours from now. Skull Clamp unbanned? You people are crazy. Will Card Kingdom honor my Urza Saga sell order if I put it in last night? I have no idea. I mean, I think your Urza Saga is safe. They're not banning this card. There is a very unlikely chance they're banning this card. Like, they don't do that. They don't ban new cards. They just, for forever, we're like, this new card is busted. They got to deal with it. Nah, they don't. Nah, they're not doing anything about it. Just you guys deal with it. You suck it up. That's how it was with Uro. Got to live with Uro for, what was it, like, just a total whole extra year. Can Yogg put -1/-1 counters on himself? I don't think so. I think it's other creatures. Sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to one target creature. Oh, you can, yeah, you can put it on your own creature. Okay. Kill off your own Yawgmoth. Kill him with poison. You have to sack another creature. Put a -1/-1 counter on up to one target creature and draw a card. So you can... Oh, wait a minute. No, he's a human. He's got protection from humans, so he can't even target himself. Okay, so that's a problem. That's the deal. Yeah, you're right. 27 Noetic. Human cleric, pro-human. Can't target yourself. Damn it, you got protection from yourself. Self-immunity. Can they unban Mox Opal for just a little so I can relive the old days? No, they're not doing that, that's for sure. Very unlikely to happen. Honestly, kind of curious what a modern format with mental misstep unbanned would look like. I'm just playing no ban modern. That basically does it. I see no reason not to unban Bridge from Below. It's a degenerate card. Like, that's the reason. I don't know what this card would do today after Faithless Looting has been banned. I honestly don't know what this card would do. But this isn't even a real Magic card. It's got a casting cost and it's useless. Like, this card is useless on the battlefield. It's 12 my time, so 11 a.m. yours. You mean when the banning announcement will happen? Because I don't think they have a set time for it. Right now, it's 9:30 my time. Like, it's almost 9:30 a.m. my time. But I expect the BNR announcement to come up in 1.5 to 2.5 hours. Ren and 6, very unlikely going to get a ban. That doesn't look... I mean, they could. Who knows? I mean, they could definitely pull a huge plot twist there. Would Deathrite Shaman still be broken in a world with Lurrus? Yeah, they would use it. I think the Deathrite Shaman decks would use Lurrus. It's a 1-mana spell. If Birthing Pod was 2 mana instead of 1 Phyrexian, it would be playable / fair? Yeah, because of, what's it called? You mean the activation? Yeah, if it was 2 instead of 1 in a Phyrexian, that's how it would be. Because we have a card like that. Oh, it's for, like, tribal decks. I can't remember what it's called. And Pod can play the value game, and... Where's Pod? Let's get Pod back on the screen. Pod can play the value game and the fast game. Imagine a Pod deck grabbing Solitude. That'd be sick. That'd be incredible. But yeah, they definitely can do that. Do you expect them to explain their decisions as detailed as in the Pauper announcement, or will it be as short as always? No, they give long explanations. Let's say modern, banned. What's the most recent banning? Faithless Looting? August 26th, never forget. So this is when they banned Hogak, Faithless Looting, and they unbanned Stoneforge Mystic. They usually have a pretty big write-up, you know? That's probably what they spent Monday doing, just writing... I mean, this is probably what they're doing this morning. They have a relatively large write-up for everything. Sometimes it's longer than others, but, you know, they write an essay about this. Since the results of the Mythic Championship in Barcelona and other tournaments have showed that Hogak continues to have a high win rate and oppressive effect on the metagame. No shit. That was the dumbest... That was one of the dumbest cards to leave unbanned for so long. Like, it was so clear after, like, 1 month. Get rid of this thing. It was Oko levels powerful. I don't know. I mean, Oko came later, but it's interesting actually. Oko could deal with Hogak, so it'd be funny to see both of them in the format at the same time. We never got to see that happen. Hogak didn't live long enough. That might have been R&D's thinking. Oko's coming out. It'll be an answer to Hogak. No problem. Pod just grabs Kiki and wins only if the opponent is tapped out. What if they're not tapped out? See, that's the power of Pod. That's the power of Pod. If your opponent has a bunch of mana open because they're trying to interact with the combo, you don't go for it. You just go for the value. You go get Solitude. You get value oriented creatures. Develop your board. And then all of a sudden your removal spell is like, well, this thing sucks. I've been holding this crap up for forever. And then eventually you tap out and boom, then you go get Kiki and win. That's how it is with Pod. It's not so simple. Like, oh, just interact with the creatures. It's no problem. And I don't know if you want to spend your Force of Vigor on a Birthing Pod either. Omnath is a dark horse ban, not predicting, but I won't be surprised. I think... So if they make the bannings that we think they're going to make, they ban the Companions, they ban Mishra's Bauble, I think the Omnath deck will be above and beyond the best deck in Modern. I already think it's the best deck. I don't think Hammer Time is the best deck. I think the Omnath deck is the best deck. It's very similar to how Uro was. The deal is that it's very expensive. It's very hard for people to buy into it or even rent the damn thing. So it's suppressed in numbers in the online metagame. And if they ban the Companions and Mishra's Bauble, it will be one of the clearest choices going into the future. And then maybe in some future BNR announcement, they'll get rid of Omnath. Omnath is a problem. George, the same deck will probably just play Hogak and Oko. Oh yeah, that's right. One of one king, Watson. No shit, Sherlock. Sherlock, keep digging, Watson. Don't ban Omnath, please. And the thing is, like, if you ban Omnath, I think those like 4-color pile decks, they still exist. But yeah, Omnath it's in trouble. I think it's going to be in trouble. Not now. I don't think it's going to be banned right now because it's not the hot thing to pay attention to, but it will in the future. Oh, Pyre of Heroes was the card that was the card I was thinking of. The Fair Birthing Pod. This card doesn't even see play. It sees no play. Because 2 mana is just too much. Like, 1 mana is fine. 1 mana is cheap enough. Like, because you can just pay the Phyrexian on Birthing Pod. So if you can just tap and tutor for 1 mana, you can, like, develop your board and tutor at the same time. But this 2 mana is just too clunky. So you sack your creature, yeah, you search, but you're not developing your board at the same time. Like, that was the thing about Birthing Pod. You can play a creature and you can sack and develop. You get, like, basically 2 cards. You get to play 2 spells in 1 turn. Do you think Arclight Phoenix decks in Pioneer will get a nerf somehow? I don't know what's going in Pioneer, to be honest. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in the format. Is Arclight Phoenix running away with the format? Looks like a good deck. We know Arclight Phoenix is strong stuff. It's possible. There's not going to be any nerf. Oh, you mean nerf like hitting one of the other cards? That's possible. Maybe the most likely card being Expressive Iteration. People still call this like Treasure Cruise. Hot take, they reinstate the old Legends rule. How old, though? There's a lot of Legends rules. In my opinion, Corridor Monitor does break Pod nowadays. Ban Borborygmos for the ambiguity reasons on Pithing Needle. Is Punishing Fire or Preordained too good? You know what? I used to think Punishing Fire wasn't a big deal. Like, why not have this card exist? But after playing against Lurrus for so long, maybe this is a problem. Maybe this is really inconvenient. That you can keep bringing back a resource from your graveyard repeatedly for forever. That is sort of annoying. Because that's how I feel about Lurrus. So maybe this is a problem. Now, Preordain, I mean, I'm of the opinion you can unban Ponder and Preordain. These are some of the dumbest cards on the ban list. It's not even clear they even see a whole lot of play. Ponder would definitely see play. I don't know about Preordain. Maybe in the right deck. Urza Saga may get the ban? Not a chance, Sanzi. Not a chance. Very, 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 very unlikely. That would be a Black Swan event. Imagine a Yawgmoth pod deck. Well, that's what Aspiring Spike tried to do, and it just didn't. I don't know if it didn't work out. Because I think Aspiring Spike ended up not finding pod to be that impressive. Thoughts on Ephemerate ban? I don't know where we're there. I don't think we're there yet. Like, that might be a decision after they ban the companions and then the Omnath deck rises to prominence. Maybe that's when they would take action. I'm not saying that Ephemerate can never see a ban, but I don't know if that is what they're looking at right now. Can they unban Thick Boy Deathrite Shaman, please? Very unlikely. I would like to see them temporarily unban Deathrite Shaman. With like, hey, we're unbanning Deathrite Shaman for 3 months. And then it's going to get banned again. Enjoy it while you have 3 months. I would love to see them do that with Modern. Like these temporary unbans in Modern. Will any other tribal deck come up with a ban or unban? Not that I know of. Not that I can think of. Yeah, Omnath decks are soft ban due to price. So, and that's the same thing with the Uro deck. Look, there were not that many Uro decks in the early stages of Uro because the deck was just obscenely expensive. And then over time, as the rental services like loosened their... No, maybe Uro got banned before they increased the limit on the rental services. But it was basically, yeah, it was soft banned due to price. It was very expensive. People had to buy an extra, like, $300, 300 ticks worth of cards in addition to maxing out their rental service to borrow those Uro decks. And Omnath is in a very similar spot. I mean, let's look at the price of these Uro decks. They're stupid. Stupid expensive. So look at $1,800 just in paper? You gotta be kidding me. When we look at Magic the Gathering Online, it's still quite a bit, 1,200 ticks. So, I mean, it's above and beyond the most expensive deck in the format. It's just playing all the money cards. It's money tribal, basically. Magic Aids would play this deck. Just jam as many expensive cards as possible. Paulo with the super chat. So this is the return of Liliana. If Lurrus gets banned, will you ever admit that it's good? No, it's terrible. I think the greatest thing for Liliana players is that they were forced to get rid of it because of the companions. Like, that was the greatest innovation for Jund, was they were forced to dump their clunky garbage cards for better cards because of Lurrus. That was the greatest gift to the Jund players. The Liliana's not good. The value is not there anymore. That is 3 mana, make you edict a creature. That is old tech, as far as I'm concerned. Really old tech. Magic Aids did play and went even more above and beyond. I know, he jammed it with as many expensive cards as possible. Now with a lot of cards, free cards like Subtlety and others, why not unban Simian Spirit Guide? Because you don't want to give them an inch. You don't want those stupid uninteractive decks to have any fuel at all to like kill you on turn 1 or turn 2. Yeah, there's more free cards than ever before, but like, there's still going to be decks out there that just cannot interact with someone who's playing spells for free. So I'm still, I would rather we still chop off more free spells than not. What tribes do you think would benefit from a Lurrus ban the most? All of them. All of them hate Lurrus. I have 2 people in Discord that keep asking for Oko and Uro unbanned. It blows my mind. Yeah, the Oko one, the Oko one particularly is ridiculous. Oko was really good. It was ripped. By the way, when Uro and Oko were super hyper interactive cards, but they dragged the game for forever, and whoever had the Uro and Oko usually was the person on top. Okay, here's a fresh idea. Change the companion mechanic. You can only access your companion game 2 and 3 when you access the rest of your sideboard. No, I don't think you're changing it enough. I mean, I think you have to ban the mechanic if you can ban the mechanic. Like, that's a possibility. And then people, if they want to play with Lurrus, they have to actually cast the card. But it's such a weird thing to do, to ban the companion mechanic. I don't know if they'll do something like that. Ban Thrasta since I've been hoarding them. You don't want it to get banned. That hurts your bottom line. Plot twist. Imagine they banned Teferi Time Raveler. Huh? We're not there yet. I thought they were going to ban that card. But now it looks like after Modern Horizons 2, Teferi Time Raveler doesn't really feel like it's like even like a card noteworthy anymore. Perpetually banning cards just feels like the wrong solution. Do you have any alternative ideas to curb the problem? I was thinking more about this. I think they should sanction no ban Modern for the people who want to play the most purest form of Modern possible, and like maybe not no ban Modern, but like free Modern. Like it has very few bans, and but they still should police like the regular Modern format. Like so they keep banning cards in regular Modern, but in like there's like a second almost no ban Modern, because I'm sure there's some stuff that absolutely needs to get banned. They can be more free. They can play with Simian Spirit Guide, Faithless Looting, whatever the hell they want. For the degenerate Vintage players out there who want to play something like Vintage in Modern, that could be for you. And I think it would be popular. Yeah, free Modern. Free Modern, aka Tabletop Magic, basically. Modern Extended. Well, Extended rotated. Isn't that Legacy pretty much? But a different card pool. It's a very different card pool. Like, you don't even have Force of Will. Restricted Modern. That's an interesting take. So instead of banning the cards, everything's legal, but like worst case scenario, you restrict it. That's an idea. That's an interesting idea. By the way, I'm not against restricting cards. Like, I've been saying for quite a while that I would be open to seeing cards getting restricted in formats like Modern, and I don't see a big deal with it. I mean, if you're afraid, for example, of if you're afraid of someone cheating because they have 2 or 3 copies of a restricted card in their deck, I mean, they could have been cheating with Luris the entire time. You know what I mean? Which deck do you think would dominate in a free Modern format? Either Eldrazi or maybe a lands deck that plays with or maybe a Hogak. Maybe a Hogak. I don't know. I don't know what no ban Modern looks like now. No ban Modern must be like nuts with all these new cards. Yeah, 2x Modern. I still think like this 4x a card is really outdated in Modern. This is really, really outdated. But like half of you are very not open to the possibility of that happening. Whoops. Curious to ask, what are your thoughts on the argument of banning Days in Legacy? It's a possibility. Like when Delver really punishes you for having no mana, so it's possible that they get rid of Days in Legacy. It's really frustrating, even as a Merfolk player when I was playing Merfolk in Legacy, because it's something that's pretty free, and if it's no good anymore, you can shuffle it away with Brainstorm. I mean, honestly, Brainstorm is probably like the real card you ban, but people play Legacy for Brainstorm, so you can't ban that. Can't be banning that all of a sudden. Maybe Legacy is a spot where they should be restricting cards now. Where will the bannings be posted first? How can I know when they come out? Probably Reddit will tell us. Let's look. Reddit will let us know. They'll be the first. And also Twitter. Twitter will tell us. It'll be everywhere. Don't forget, people. Make out. Change rule to 2 of the same card maximum instead of 4. Yeah, this is what I would propose as the card pool gets bigger. So for example, Standard has a very small card pool, so you want to max out on 4 of every card because there's not much else available. And then if the card pool gets larger, something like Pioneer, you go to 3x a card. Then you get to Modern, which has an even larger card pool. You go to 2x a card. And Legacy should be Singleton because they've got an enormous card pool. And they have so many Like, instead of playing, like, a playset of Brainstorm and Ponder, you can play a Preordain, a Ponder, a Brainstorm, and they have, like, a bunch of, you know, Opt. They have a bunch of other crappy cantrips that can fill the void. But it forces you to play with, like, some more mediocre cards. And I think a larger room for new deck design. Official formats is too many, then there's digital too. There's always been too many formats. You look at how many formats we have here on Scryfall. What do they recognize? They recognize Standard, Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, Alchemy, Brawl, Historic, Pauper, Penny. They recognize a lot of formats. And there's still more formats on top of that. Like Tiny Leaders or Captain. Did I trigger anyone? Did you get triggered by the thought of Captain? So Vintage would just be Canadian Highlander? Something like that. Something like that. Max of one individual card per deck is so shitty, Nikachu. It will homogenize old decks of a similar color. No, not at all. Pfft. You want to play Pod? It's going to be a very different deck. Like, you're going to be playing cards that are going to be good with Pod. It's going to be very, very different. we already have homogenization. Like, how many decks in Legacy play, like, Playset of Force of Will, Brainstorm, Ponder? I mean, they're basically all the same. I think we have more homogenization if you have 4x a card. Like, look at all the decks. You know, look at all the decks that play with, like, 4 Dragon Rage Chandler, 4 Mishra's Bauble, Lurrus, Unholy Heat. Stop trying to make Canadian Highlander a thing. Ozzy, as someone getting into the format, if Lurrus is banned, what deck should I look into? Let's say they ban all the commanders. Let's say they ban all... Sorry, not commanders. Companions. They're basically commanders. Let's not lie to each other. I think the decks that rise to the top... I mean, Hammer is still going to be good. I'm not going to say Hammer's not going to get wiped out at all. Hammer's still going to be a strong deck. So Hammer's still a choice. Death Shadow will get their teeth kicked in. That's a big deal. I think them losing Lurrus is a big deal, and also Mishra's Bauble is a big deal. So they're going to go down percentage points. So things that will fill the void is like the Blink deck and Murktide, the Murktide deck, and even Crashing Footfalls. So those are the decks that are going to be the biggest winners. If they ban all the companions, I think Murktide is going to be one of the better decks. Blink will still be very, very strong. Probably still this is number 1, and Murktide is going to be one of the better decks. Probably Burn is going to be good on, like, the first week of bannings. Go Blue-Red Blitz if starting fresh post-companion ban. Maybe we'll see more Blue-Red Blitz again. I mean, the Blitz deck died thanks to Dragon Rage Chandler. If banning Mishra's Bauble is going to be enough, which I don't think it's going to be, but let's say it is. Let's say banning Mishra's Bauble is enough to prevent Dragon Rage Chandler from being super OP. Maybe we'll see the Prowess creatures again. Like, all the Prowess creatures got replaced because of... all the Prowess creatures got replaced because of Dragon Rage Chandler and Ragavan. Like, why play these crappy Prowess creatures and, you know, cast our spells on our turn to pump these creatures up when we can just play Dragon Rage Chandler and Ragavan? Mountain Dew, I took a 3-year break from Magic and came back to Bauble being in the talks for a ban. What the hell happened? I know. Well, now it's just a bit too free with Dragon Rage Chandler. It's always around... The announcement will probably come in about an hour, 1 to 2 hours. Is it confirmed that there will be unbans? No. So we have no idea what's going to happen. Nick Hurst, I may not have any idea what I'm talking about, but with the exceptions of must-play cards, mental misstep, I believe in printing answers instead of banning, but also restricting. I mean, I think I would take that argument if you restrict, but if you get to play with 4 copies of a really busted card, the answer may not be enough, especially if it's a fast card, and the answer is slow and clunky. If they bring back Anti, people will reconsider their deck because they don't want to lose their Lurrus or Solitude. Well, Lurrus is cheap. Imagine they brought Anti back, but only with the purposes of, like, controlling your opponent's cards. Like, temporarily during the match. Imagine that. That would be so bad. Like, people would accidentally steal other people's cards all the time. If they ban all companions and Bauble, Hammer Time gains more meta percentage as all Dragon Rage Chandler decks get hit. Yeah, but so does the Hammer Time deck. Don't forget, in a board stall, grabbing Lurrus and looping Bauble over and over again works for them as well. How many cards need to get banned to make Merfolk tier 1? You know, it's not how many, it's which ones. Like, I think Lurrus is going to be a huge help to me. It will be a huge help to something like Merfolk. And that's maybe all I need. It's so hard to grind out. Like, whenever I get paired up against Death Shadow or Jund, I'm basically losing now. Because I just can't grind them out. It's so hard to grind them out. It's also hard to tempo them out. If I mulligan once, it's like a death sentence. At least Shadow gets Street Wraith back. Should people be buying into Street Wraith right now? Ooh, Street Wraith on sale. Street Wraith on sale right now, $4. Maybe it's time to get back into Street Wraith. Yeah, they would go back to Street Wraith. 1,000,000%. Leonardo says, Lurrus ban would be so healthy for deck design. A lot of 3 CMC cards can finally see play again. Well, maybe. Like, the thing is, like, yeah, they do go out of their way to not play any, like, 3 CMC cards, or, I mean, they'll probably play, like, Seasoned Pyromancer or something, but most of the cards are not that good anymore. They might play Bone Crusher Giant. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is the most likely card to see play. Who's your top 5 best modern deck brewer? I think the only person I can think of is Aspiring Spike. I mean, I could give some credit also to, I don't know how much he brews, but also Gabriel Nassif. But easily number 1 is Aspiring Spike. He is the best brewer. Best brewer, deck designer, and modern right now. How does Control win? What are its win cons? There's a lot of things you can, like, you literally can beat down with a Kihira at the moment. You have Kihira. You have Shark Typhoon. So you can, like, end of turn cycle this for a big shark and win like that. You have Solitude. These are all ways I've been beaten down by a control deck. You also could lock them out with Teferi Teferi Hero of Dominaria. So, like, once it's clear that you've, like, the control player is, like, in the driver's seat, and you emblem this thing and you exile all your permanents, they exile all your permanents every single time they draw a card, then they can tuck the Teferi into their deck perpetually every turn. So it's a way of winning. So what they do is they emblem off at -8, then they exile everything you have, so you can't win the game. Then they, for the rest of the game, they -3 the Teferi back into their deck forever, so they can loop Teferi. And once they demonstrate that loop, I mean, you can resign. Because they draw a card every turn, they'll exile whatever you play. Oh, official Jim with the super chat. Thanks so much for the $5. Ban only 1 Tron land for SNGs? Oh, shits and giggles, I get it. Yeah, only 1. I think this is... a lot of people ask me, hey, is Tron going to get a ban? Are they going to ban the Urza lands? No, they're not going to do that. Tron is quite fair right now. Control wins by boring your opponents into submission. Well, I mean, that, yes, if they take the Teferi Teferi Hero of Dominaria route. What Reddit boards do you recommend, Nikachu? That depends. None of them are good. I mean, if you want random news, you go to Magic the Redditing. So, R Magic TCG. What else is called? Magic the Circle Jerking. Magic the Circle Jerking. Is that it? Magic the Circle Magic the Circle Jerking. They have some good jokes here. They like to troll around. This is nothing. So I follow this one too. King of Pod. 20 years ago, these guys looked like frumpy dads. Now they look just like your MTG play group. Yep. Yep, that'd be right. Damn, Magic. I can't talk like Dale. Celestial Colonnade. That's sort of an old card. It still sees play, though. It does see play. Oh, yeah, Modern MTG is... Oh, yeah, I forgot about Modern Magic. For all your modern goodness. You're making a Koth reboot? Oh, God. One of us. Hey, I love the memes. I love memes. Send your memes this way. Just a few minutes and we know what's going on with the BNR. Stay online. Oh, did they make an announcement? What's going on here? The witching hour is upon us, so let us pray. Dear based Wizards of the Coast who art in Renton, please absolve Luris of any signs so that she may be spared on this hallowed day. We ask humbly that you deliver us from the evil that is Teferi Time Raveler, so we may play in peace. Of course, the Death Shadow player would say something like that. Alright, we'll hang out for quite some time. Hopefully it's coming up soon. Yeah, especially extended stream. No decklist review, we just shit talk cards that should get banned. You should check out Warhammer sometime on stream to get hype for the new decks. Oh, you mean the Warhammer cards that are coming out? What are the odds Deathrite Shaman gets unbanned? 1%? 2%? I never want to say it's 0, but I don't think it's high. What quality of merfolk would it take for any merfolk to get banned? It's gotta be something that no one can kill, and it always wins when it, like, gets cast. Let's browse more Reddit memes. So then I thought, fuck all the OP life gain decks, so I was smart enough to play Book on my Angel token so I can't lose. I won with negative 1,121 life, and them on 685. Fucking nuts, bro. I don't get it. Yeah, I play Modern. What about you? I have slept with 2 former presidents. I speak 4 languages, and I own 2 Monets. I play Magic the Gathering. There we go. Oh, we can't see the memes. Me, never thought I'd be building an Azorius Commander deck. Leaked Kamigawa Precon. How about building a blue-white vehicle deck? I could do that. Is your video game good? Does it have a fishing minigame? Yes. Your game is good. No, it's shit. Well, alright. So, Ocarina of Time is going to stand the test of time because it does have a fishing minigame. What does that have to do with Magic? When are the bans being announced? Anywhere between now and in 2 hours. Thoughts on unbanning Splinter Twin? My thoughts are, you can do it. Splinter Twin will not be super OP, but no one will be happy that this deck exists in the format. If you hate playing against a Teferi Time Raveler, you probably are not going to be that much happier playing against Splinter Twin. And that's an archetype, not a card. No decklist reviews right now. Can't kill the mood with that. Everyone's excited for bannings. We'll resume decklist review tomorrow. It's up? It went live? Okay, where? Okay, hold on. Where do I go? Gotta get out of MTG the circle jerking. All right, here we go, people. Here we go. January 25th, 2022, banned and restricted announcement. Here's the moment that we've all been waiting for. By Ian Duke and Jay Parker. This is a tag team match this time. Usually it's just Ian Duke. They don't have his face here anymore. So standard, Alrund's Epiphany is banned. I really don't care what's going on in standard. Divide by 0 is banned. What do these cards do? Create 2 blue bird creature tokens? Oh, you get to take an extra turn. Yeah, that's stupid. It's like Nexus of Fate. Divide by 0. Return target creature or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to their hand. Faithless Haven is banned. It's like banning Mutavault. Legacy. Ragavan gets banned in Legacy. This is a card just like... It's the same damn thing as Dreadhorde Arcanist. And if Dreadhorde Arcanist is banned, Ragavan kicks the bucket. Historic. Memory Lapse. That's weird. Is that card really so damn good? Banned from suspended. That just blows my mind. Historic. Teferi Time Traveler has been rebalanced and unbanned. So what does it do now? What has it been rebalanced to? And there's no changes to Modern! There are no changes to Modern. Everyone who bet on no changes, they are the big winners. Lame. Yes, no changes. Yay. Fucking lame. What? Nothing. Boom, called it. Modern, no changes. Now, you know what that means, people? See, they've banned something in Modern every January / February for the last 8 or so years. Which means they might ban something in February. Ugh. Like I said, like do they explain anything? Wow, they don't even talk about Modern. They're like, no, there's nothing we have to talk about in Modern. Nothing. Absolutely not. What a waste. They could have at least acknowledged that there's a sort of a problem in Modern. Oh my god, I hate these people. Why would they even let that to Teferi anywhere near the game again? Well, they rebalanced it. How do they rebalance it, though? Okay, additionally, we have rebalanced Teferi Time Traveler into a form we believe is safe for Historic, and it will be removed from the ban list. Okay, let's read about how they're rebalancing Teferi. What's the new Teferi? I don't see it at all. There we go. Alright, so it's 4 mana now. That makes some sense. Opponents can't cast spells during your turn. That makes more sense. So they can cast spells at instant speed, but on their turn. +1 until your next turn, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. And return one target artifact, creature, or enchantment to its owner's hand. Draw a card. I know people who bought a lot of GT. That's a weird take. Well, that's it. They didn't do anything for Modern. Nothing. I wonder what the response is going to be like on like what's the response here on Twitter? There's going to be people who are pissed. Misplaced Ginger says cool. Cyril Leaf, Luris is safe for now. Luris lives to see another day. Rapacious one lives to see another day. All I have to say about no bans in Modern is that there better be more companions coming. I second that motion. We got to see more companions if they're not going to get rid of the companions. Emma's like, no, Luris, what the hell? Yeah, I'm going to retweet that one. Here, here, Emma. Here, here. Nothing got changed. Truth be told, Modern is in a spot where it's not in a disaster. Like every other year that they banned something, it was because like the community was very angry and very loud, but the community was a lot more quiet coming up to this. People only started speaking up when they said that there's going to be a BNR announcement in multiple formats. Yeah, so the new Teferi is going to be 4 mana now in Historic. Yeah. Merfolk Companion, let's go! Merfolk Companion. Personally, I'd be for more companions, but not less. And there has to be a generic companion that everyone gets to play. Or sorry, I prefer more companions than to have only some people have companions. But I'm also fine with just erasing all the companions. Will Ragavan's price drop now? Barely. Barely. Not many people are playing Legacy. So, like, it technically should drop a little bit. But, like, it's still going to see a lot of play in Modern. Like I said, Ragavan was safe in Modern. All the Modern Horizons 2 cards were safe in Modern. I was very certain of that. They just never, unless it's an emergency situation like Oko or Hogak, they never ban new cards. And it's still a relatively new card. They let those cards live for at least a year. And then after a year in their existence, then they might start thinking about banning cards like that. But I will say, if Ragavan can get banned in Legacy, I mean, it has potential of getting banned in Modern. Has the potential. So is Ragavan going to go up or down in price, considering Modern is probably the main driver? Well, it's not going to go up. No, I don't think it's going to go up. I think it just might stay the same price or it slightly go down. Did anyone spec on anything? Does this mean a monkey price dip so I can actually afford any? No. It will be very negligible, I think. It will be a very negligible price dip. Nothing in Modern, but Ragavan in Legacy. So to reiterate, for anyone that missed it, cards. There was a lot of bannings in Standard. Who cares? Alrund's Epiphany got banned. Divide by Zero got banned. Faithless Haven got banned. That's a weird banning. Why did they ban Faithless Haven? Was that because of a combo? The most winning decks in MTG Arena and amongst the most popular have been Mono White Aggro and Mono Green Aggro. While each owes part of its success to preying upon Blue-Red Epiphany decks, both decks also have high win rates against the field, especially against many of the less popular decks on the fringe. Faithless Haven represents a lot of power of these monocolor aggro decks by virtue of being efficient on its own and providing resilience against creature sweepers and targeted removal. To weaken these two aggressive archetypes without fundamentally changing their core game plan, Faithless Haven is banned. Wow, they're picking on monocolor decks now. Wow. Wow, Wizards. Picking on monocolor decks now. That's rude. That was very rude. Vegan Economist. Ragavan's price will go up because the signal to the market is it's safe in Modern. But I think it's always been safe. It's going to be safe for a year, and then it will be in danger. No bond or ban, Sean. If you own Luris, it's still safe. If you were scared about Urza Saga, Urza Saga or any of those other cards screwing up, or Urza Saga, Ragavan, any of those expensive Modern Horizons 2 cards getting banned, didn't happen. What time is the official announcement? Noon Pacific? I don't know. It came out basically 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Matt Wazix wants a deck list review. Okay, we'll do one deck list review. We'll do one. All right, deck list review. So if anyone's new here, you don't know how this works. There's a link in my There's a link in my description. There's a link to my Discord in the description. Join my Discord. There is a channel called Decklist Review, and enter the command !review deck space, give the URL to your deck list, and you'll be eligible at random for Decklist Review. I will wait 2 minutes for anyone who just wants to spontaneously puts their deck list in there. I think Saga needs banned. It's what breaks Hammer Time. Luris is prohibitive because it excludes dozens of cards from the deck construction just by existing. I mean, you can be right, but they're not going to ban Urza Saga. Look, the whole deal is that they make us suffer with these cards for as long as it's new. If it's new, but it's not grossly oppressive, they just don't do anything. Nikachu just got boosted and goes overtime. Yes. Vax to the max, and we go max with this stream. Honestly, streaming is actually keeping my takes my attention off all the aches and headache that I'm going through right now. Any guy says Ragavan 100% fine in Modern. There's no way for aggressive decks to compete otherwise in a format with Lightning Bolt, Counterspell, and Jace the Mind Sculptor. Control would just overrun the format. I'm building Burn, so Lur's banning is interesting. Well, your deck doesn't care that much if Lurrus was actually banned. Does that Teferi change means all formats? No, it's just for Historic. Specifically for Historic. Just for Historic, no other format. So basically, Historic is alchemy. Essentially. Does Legacy Delver actually have to play with Delver now that Ragavan gets the ban? Well, of course they want to play with Delver. Because they're running out of good cards to play on turn 1. Jace the Mind Sculptor is not that good. Like, it's a fine card, but it's not like... It's not even close to what it used to be. Direwolf, I was going to ask, how are you feeling today? Thank you for going long today. I'm just happy the BNR announcement happened early enough. I would have been doing this for another 2 hours. My head hurts and my body aches, but that's about it. Everything will be fine tomorrow. At least that's how all my other vaxes went. The very next day was garbage, but every day after that was okay. All right, who's the lucky winner today? We've got Scott the Dark Knight. Congratulations, you are the next contestant on Decklist Review. Hopefully this is not a deck... Oh no, it's not deckstats.net. The Big Bad Wolf. This deck is showing specific versions of cards specify... Oh yeah, that's okay. So you like specific arts, you're telling me. Yeah, basically. Well, I'm taking Tylenol. Is that the same ibuprofen, or is ibuprofen Advil? I can't remember which one is what. Okay, Ascendant Pack Leader. So we have a wolf deck. Keswick Naturalist. I didn't even know this card existed. Whenever it attacks, add green or blue. At end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and as this fend. You have Daybound. Oh, and it's a Lord when it flips. Mayor of Averbrack. Werewolf Pack Leader. Love it. Immerwolf. Intimidate. So this creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. And it's got 2 colors. Other wolf and werewolf creatures you control get +1/+1. Non-human wolves you control can't transform. Non-human werewolves. Okay. So you basically transform and then it stays that way. Reckless Stormkeeper. What does this do? At the beginning of your combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Daybound. Tavalar Dire Overlord. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Oh yeah, I love this one. I love you can, if you have just random garbage on the battlefield, you draw cards. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves or werewolves, it becomes night, then transform any number of human werewolves you control. It has Daybound. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, you still draw a card, and has got the Keswick Wolf Run ability on it. Night Pack Ambusher, very strong card, also a Lord. Lightning Bolt, Snakeskin Veil. I don't know how... Why do people love Snakeskin Veil? Anyway, no one mentioned that Standard continues to see bans. That's true. Standard's still seeing a lot of bans. Ren and 6 banned in Legacy? No, only... Oh, sorry, Ren and 6 got banned. It was an emergency, though. That was an emergency because it was like comboing with Wasteland. Oh, Tylenol is acetaminophen, so I don't have ibuprofen. Okay, what do you guys think? We got Unnatural Moonrise. If it becomes night until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0. I don't think this card is very good. It gains trample whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I don't like this one. This one's a poor card. We got to remove this one. Howlpack Resurgence. How many creatures do you have for 1 mana? You should have more 1 mana creatures. So definitely, what is this? Flash. Each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +1/+1 and trample. I don't like these cards. So, I would definitely... So the cards I want to chop away is the 3 Hellpack Resurgence, 2 Unnatural Moonrise, and the Snakeskin Veils. I don't think this card is very good. No modern bans, that's correct. What format is this? I think it's modern. It's modern. I would definitely have another Ascendant pack leader. 1,000,000%. Also, I might want more lands. What creatures or what cards can we play as a land and a spell? Because 20 lands I don't think is going to do it. I don't think that's a lot of lands. Not if it becomes night, it's just it becomes night. Oh, it just forces it to become night. I still don't really like this card. Just pass the turn and do nothing, and it'll become night. Coco's a good card. That is a good... actually, hold on. How many cards do we have for Coco? Because you can't get Night Pack Ambusher. So we have 4, 8... So hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 24 cards. It's not a bad Coco deck, but it's not a great Coco deck. But anyway, it's okay. So that could be an option. We take out like Howlpack Resurgence and 1 Unnatural Moonrise for 3 to 4 Coco, and then we have 4 cards to do something else. Day and night, like the way if it's day, just pass the turn and do nothing, and then it becomes night, and then you have to play 2 spells on 1 turn to become day again. Coco, Sprawls, and Mutavault. I don't think this is the greatest Sprawl deck. Mutavault's an option. And so, hold on. I would want to take... Okay, so we have 4 cards can become Coco. Maybe 2 cards can become Mutavault. And then the last card can be an Ascendant Pack Leader. Because I do think... Because we don't really have a whole lot of things to do on turn 1. We have Lightning Bolt, which is fine. Snakeskin Veil doesn't count. Day and night is not a fun concept to keep up with paper. And also, this deck is probably a pain in the ass flipping things back and forth. Flip, 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 flip. Moon Mist does not work with Daybound and Nightbound cards. Moon Mist? Or you mean Moonrise? It becomes night. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Moon Mist does not work with Daybound and Nightbound cards. Why not? It says specifically it becomes night. I don't like the card anyway. Or are people at home? Or is this a completely different card? Moon Mist. Oh yeah, we should have Cavernous Souls in this deck. Transform all humans. Oh, that's an old card. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Yeah. True story. Okay, so for lands, we do need at least, I would say, 14 red sources for Lightning Bolt, but the rest of the sources can be... I don't know if we want Grove. That just gains our opponent life, which is not really where we want to be. Oh, this mana base probably is a little bit budget for you. Okay, I have a feeling we cannot do very much about this mana base, because it looks like it's a budget mana base for the most part. So I would just say get money and get a better mana base. Because, of course, you know, things like Cavernous Souls would be great for this deck. But even without that, Rockfield enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. This card is just terrible. You can't play this card. Like, it's going to end up being tapped really early on and only make your Night Pack Ambusher cheap. Or, like, easy to cast. So I would desperately try to play something else. Like, don't even play Castle Garenbrig. This is pointless. And also, it's going to come into play tap because you don't actually have many forests in this deck. Yeah, Copper. Well, those cards are expensive though. Like Copperfield Gorge, they're not cheap. I would say play all the pathways. Like this is $8. It doesn't look like a lot, but for a budget deck, it's it's money. This is, I mean, it's affordable though. Like this is definitely the type of card you want in this deck. Endurance, I think, is going to be too expensive. Let's try to make Werewolves in Modern a thing. Mana base is just what I had lying around, so suggestions are welcome. Okay, so if you want suggestions, get Copperline Gorge. Definitely get... So you need 14 red sources, because you have Copperline Gorge. You should have some fetch lands. You should have some stomping grounds. Just make sure your Copperline Gorges, fetch lands, and stomping grounds equal 14, so that you have access to turn 1 Lightning Bolt when you need it. Because if you don't have anything to do on turn 1, you're just screwing yourself over. next thing you should have... So 14 lands are going to be spent on red mana sources. You could spend the next 4 on Cavernous Souls. That's not unrealistic. And some of them can be on... I think you can do it. It's possible Cavernous Souls is clunky because you have to sometimes put it on Wolf and you have to sometimes put it on Human. I think you can play 4 Cavernous Souls. And then you can play... Would Pathways work? It would be okay. Are Battle Bond lands legal in Modern? No. Depends which ones you're talking about. I think no, though. Outland Liberator? Oh, this was destroy target artifact or enchantment. I think this is a good card for a sideboard. So definitely could put this in the sideboard. Rootbound Crag is okay, actually. That would be fine as well. So that could fill in the cracks. Probably the deck should have like one Kessig Wolf run. Just like one Kessig Wolf run on the battlefield. Just one, though. You can't have too many colorless sources because we already said we're going to play with some Mutavaults later. Duskwatch Recruiter. This deck is not playing it. It could play it, but this one is not playing it. Duskwatch Recruiter is actually a bit clunky. If you don't have like infinite mana, it's not the most amazing card. It's okay though. We need a Hunt Master for flavor alone, like one Hunt Master. Blood Moon for flavor. Blood Moon will just kill you. Or maybe not. I mean, you could build the deck so that you can play Blood Moon. This may not be a bad Blood Moon deck. So if we go the Blood Moon route, it's not a terrible idea to play Blood Moon. Although, or maybe it is, because we can't ramp into it. Getting turn 2 Blood Moon on the play is very important in Modern, so people don't have an opportunity to fetch away stuff, or fetch for basics. But anyway, so, and then have 22 lands, because this is too few. So have 22 lands, so we said we're going to take out some Snakeskin Veils for some Mutavaults, and I think that will be okay. When are bans announced? It's already been announced. Standard got 3 bans, Legacy got Ragavan banned, Historic got Memory Lapse banned, and Teferi Time Raveler has been rebalanced and unbanned, and nothing happened in Modern. I don't like cards like Ranger Class in Modern. Like, those cards don't see play because they're just too clunky. They don't do enough. Like, in Modern, you gotta, like, play creatures and hope that they do stuff. There's a lot of Lord-like things in here. It's like a Merfolk deck, to be honest. Like, you look at Ranger Class, for example. You're just gonna sink a lot of mana into this thing. So it's 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you get a wolf. Not bad. Okay, but like 2 mana for a wolf, not the greatest. Then you have to put another 2 mana into it. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on only one attacking creature. And then you put more mana into it. Like, you can't do this in Modern. It's just too clunky. You can look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells. It's just too... You're going to be dead by the time you do something like that. It could run Vile. It could. But it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory at all. Anyway, okay, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you very much. Hope that was some exciting banning announcements. I don't think that's what... I don't know. Are you happy about the BNR announcement or are you unhappy? Let me know in the comment section below. So if you're new to Coffee and MTG, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. You're usually running from 9 to 10-ish. 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday to Friday. And if you love Coffee and MTG and you want to support the channel, hey, you can drop a sub at twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. You can become a patron at patreon.com, or you can hit the join button on YouTube. So thank you for making this day such a wonderful day. Hopefully that BNR announcement is what you wanted, and if it isn't, at the very least, they didn't ban your cards. They did not. One thing's for certain, they didn't ban your cards. So keep brewing up that coffee, boys and girls, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.